And for us, the guiding principle really was about transparency. We felt as a state entity working with a private entity that there was a level of transparency that would be required of us to represent to the public that they're getting a great deal.
Hey there, ALSD, here with Jennifer LeMaster, who just moderated a super panel here at ALSD 2018 entitled Build It and They Will Come. And it was well communicated and very informative, so I was able to catch up with her afterwards to pick her brain and hear what her takeaways were from that. So Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us, and I thought we would just start there and pick it up right where we left off. What were a few of your takeaways from the panel?
Yeah, Jared, a couple of things that the buzzword, if you will, was premiumization. It was really a great word to describe how do we look at our spaces and create unique and compelling products that don't necessarily fit the typical suite or club environment. So I really love this idea of every space in the building can be premiumized. The other takeaway I was really fascinated by was what they were doing in Las Vegas with building out clubs for people to come and do gaming during the event. So the event really does become the backdrop to the social activity as opposed to the reason why people are coming to the venue. They're really coming to the venue to connect with people who have shared interest, and the event going on is just in the background. So I thought that was really fascinating.
And in your current role, which we'll touch on here momentarily, you cover everything. And again, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. But your pedigree is premium seating, and you learned the business in a building here in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome. I was wondering, for those that may not be familiar with who you are, if you give us that context, tell us about those lessons and experiences on the premium side at the Georgia Dome.
I'd be happy to. So I moved to Atlanta in 2007. I came from the university background where I'd spent 10 years in sports marketing and special events. So I had a good sense about the event side, but service was not a big focus in college sports in the world that I was living in. So coming into the premium seating world with the Georgia Dome, it was really about learning about service in a different way. And I wasn't talking about just transactional service, but how do you create high-touch service environments that add to the overall experience? So I really cut my teeth on the industry at the Georgia Dome and felt so fortunate to do that, because as I kind of describe it to people, is it's like learning the business from the inside out, like starting at the heart and working your way out. Because at the end of the day, the customers are the focus of all we do. And the customers in particular that were the premium seat customers at the Georgia Dome, those are the customers at the end of the day are guaranteeing that revenue into the building. They're paying off those revenue bonds for the building. So they're so critical to the overall infrastructure and success of our venue. So I felt very fortunate to be sitting at the heart of the building.
And then segueing into Georgia World Congress Authority, how did that previous experience help inform what you do today? And then go ahead and tell us what that job is.
I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for the Georgia World Congress Center Authority, and in that role I oversee communications and marketing as well as finance and human resources. And I'll sort of back up and tell you how this connects to premium service and sort of my original job with the Georgia Dome. About 2010, we started negotiating with the Falcons on a potential new stadium for Atlanta. And at that point, I was sitting as close as anyone to the action as it relates to the impacted sponsors, customers, as well as doing PR for the venue. So I was tasked to handle public affairs in support of the stadium. So I started working on the legislative side and really engaging with the business community around what we now believe to be the most successful and significant public-private partnership in the industry with the development of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. After the building was the deal was done, which was around 2012, of course, it opened last year. I was able at that point to really expand my role within the authority and start working more on the finance and talent management side, which to me puts the whole package together, because what I was doing before was strategy, and now with influence into both finance and talent, you're really driving the financial outcomes that support the long-term strategy, and you're also sitting in a seat to engage the talent that you need to really run the venues going forward. So it puts the whole package together.
Absolutely. For any cities, municipalities, organizations of any kind who are in a beginning phase of considering a public-private partnership, can you give them any tips or best practices on how to best go about that and manage both sides of that, both roles, public and private?
Well, I think the big lesson learned for us in Atlanta, and I think it's important to keep in mind that all deals are local, and you have to be very aware of what the community needs as you're developing the venue. And for us, the guiding principle really was about transparency. We felt as a state entity working with a private entity that there was a level of transparency that would be required of us to represent to the public that they're getting a great deal. And so from the very beginning, we built a microsite hosted on our website that really tracked everything that was happening related to the stadium negotiation. We posted all of our documents there. And in doing so, we really, I think, set a benchmark with the press and with the community at large that this deal is not going to be done in secret. You're going to have full access to everything we're working on. To the extent that you want to weigh in and contact us directly, you can. But in most cases, what we found is it wasn't so much people wanting to weigh in on the deal, it's just this idea that they don't know, they don't get to know, or there's this backdoor part of the story that no one's telling us. And we were really committed to not doing that. And we thought that the legacy of the venue long term deserved both the Georgia Dome and the successor facility, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, deserve that level of transparency. So I would just say, and I don't know that I'll ever do another stadium negotiation again, but if I do, this idea around transparency and how you engage all stakeholders, embrace the press, not as the opposition, but as really an opportunity to tell your story. And we thought we had a great story, and continue to tell that story as a result of those relationships.
Well, clearly you do. Clearly there's a reason why the ALSD conference is here in Atlanta in 2018. It is those stories. Given what is happening in this city with new construction, sports and entertainment and beyond, it truly has aspirations of becoming a international city and emerging in so many different ways. So can you talk about the Georgia World Congress Authority's place within that larger narrative, hotels, conventions, sports, entertainment, the whole package?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to say this because we have a vision to be the #1 convention, sports, and entertainment destination in the world. And we believe we have the most compelling package of facilities in all of North America, and we want to have the most compelling package in all of the world. Part of having a compelling package is keeping in mind that there's certain elements of infrastructure that Atlanta has that no other city has. Certainly airlift with the world's busiest airport, not 15 minutes from our campus, certainly helps. We have 10,000 hotel rooms within walking distance of our campus. We have a tremendous complement of attractions surrounding our campus, so families who are coming in for a convention or other events can attend the College Football Hall of Fame, or they can go to the world's largest aquarium, or to even World of Coke, which is Atlanta's hometown brand. So we believe that while we don't have the beach and we may not have Disney World and some of the name recognition of some of the other cities that we compete against, what we do have is ease of access. We have walkability, and we have Southern hospitality. And you said at the top of the question about being an international city. The 1996 Olympics put Atlanta on the map, on the world's map, and we became a gateway for visitors from all over the world. And so we treasure that legacy, we embrace that legacy as our heritage, and continue to build on it today as Team Atlanta.
So Jennifer, one of the things that the association loves about you is you're a forward-looking thinker. You're really a leader in that sense, and you're doing some really strong things with your current organization. I was wondering if you could share some of those with us.
Well, I think the most significant activity that the organization is about right now is how we populate our venues with top-tier talent. Right now, the unemployment rate in Georgia is right around 3%. It's one of the lowest in the country. So the competition for top employees is at a premium. So the organization has positioned itself to meet those market demands by creating a compelling package that attracts people to our brand, attracts people to our organization, and not relying on just the sensationalism of the event itself, but really taking someone through a career life cycle. So we draw employees to the organization, team members who are thinking about their career. And that's something that we're not seeing in previous years, in previous generations. You saw longevity within careers, and now you read a lot about people don't spend their whole career in one job. And we acknowledge that. we say don't spend your whole career in one job, but spend your whole career at the World Congress Center Authority, because there's endless opportunities for you to build your skills and build your career on our campus and stay with the same employer. So we're really looking at how we capture the A-Town in Atlanta, and we want to be the #1 place to work in the city.
And let's just close with another question on career building. And once you have acquired that top tier talent, how do you coach them? What is some advice that you give those young professionals?
Well, the best advice I ever got was from Tubby Smith when I was at the University of Kentucky, former head coach. And he said to me 2 things that have always stuck with me, which was, number 1, don't choose a job, choose your boss. And I've always kept that in the forefront of my mind, that when I'm making decisions about my career, I want to know who is that influencer who's going to really pour into me and sponsor me for my next great opportunity. The second part is, don't pursue a job for money or title, but pursue a job because it makes you happy, and happiness will make you money, and I think that that's true.
That's sage wisdom, and we're happy to share that with the rest of the association. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. This was a fabulous morning.
Thank you.